Why her Sally V or why her Magic City? Just because I use Magic City. Why her Magic City? Just like, ooh! If anybody is happy that Lou Williams is back home, it's Magic City. but but I don't agree with her. What do you think, Keisha? Do you hurt? Do you? This is not just an Atlanta problem though. This is a state of Georgia problem. So, but, but hmm correct, correct, correct. I agree. That part I do agree with. That's why I'm saying not the. That is why I'm saying specifically not the All Star game. The All Star game is in Atlanta. Atlanta is mainly blue right now. I will say Atlanta is mainly blue. This is more than just Atlanta.
But does that, you have to think about how much that actually
What it
matters
shows.
right now because the governor is Republican,
What is he?
and
What?
I don't know about the the state house, the state House of
Both of all of
Representatives.
this is Republican. All the Democrat,
That's
the
what matters.
all of it, all of it.
That's what
Yeah,
matters.
all legislation.
That's what matters.
It does.
That's why this bill went through.
But the thing is, those
They
country
voted
folks,
for the Senate on the federal level, but as far as
correct,
the state
correct,
the state Congress,
correct,
it's still controlled by Republicans. That's the part that matters right now. Like this is a state law.
correct.
This isn't a federal thing. And a lot of other states are trying to do it too.
Yeah, Savannah, Savannah. Yeah, and
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Because you know what's coming up is the. Good gosh, I can't even speak right
The
now.
representatives?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's about time to start voting for them again in about what 2022.
yeah.
So in about a year, we're gonna have to start voting for them again, as well as I think to me personally, the reason this was rushed also is he's going to be up for election, and he doesn't want to lose the election. He knows
Next
Well,
year.
he don't, yeah,
also,
exactly. He knows that his behind is in the hot seat next
Yes.
year.
but outside of the governor as well, you have to also pay attention to this. This week, Jody Heiss, which you all may not be familiar with Jody Heiss, but Jody Heiss is one of our members of the House who basically was a part of that whole insurrection in the Capitol where they did not want to acknowledge the Electoral College.
Yeah.
Well, Jody Heiss just announced this week that he is running for Secretary of State.
Yeah.
He wants to unseat Raffensperger,
Yeah.
which we know Raffensperger is an ethical man and he did the right thing. Jody Heiss, which is one of my representatives in my hometown, is the opposite. He will do anything to get that Trump politics back in control. And as you know, Secretary of State controls things such as business licenses. So if you got a license to do anything in the state of Georgia, he is the head of that as well as the election.
Yes.
So he is not who you
Well,
want
one
to
of
be Secretary of State.
Well, they're moving him. Well, with this bill, they're moving him off of the what is it? One of the boards. They are moving him. They are moving the Secretary of State off the board. So they are doing off the election board. They are doing that. That's
Yeah,
part of
but
this,
for what reason?
for sure.
Because
Right. It's covering up
because he did the right thing
Because he did the right thing.
Yeah.
during the election.
This
As a
is-
Republican, he did the right thing by the state, which went against everything that they.
He didn't do similar to what it looked like Brian Kemp did when he ran for governor, while he was also the Secretary of State. Like basically, the Secretary of State is like the referee for the election. But when Kemp ran for governor, he was the Secretary of State at the time.
Yeah.
So he was basically, in a way, somehow he was able to referee the election, and that's why so many people were disenfranchised. It looked that way, that thousands of people were disenfranchised on that election. They were registered before, and all of a sudden, they're off the roll.
Hey, Keisha, ain't Kemp one of your homeboys too?
Don't just call me out. This is his homeboy as well. Don't do me cheap on this here podcast.
These your people too, Rick?
Huh? No.
He's from Athens,
He's from Winterville. He's from Winterville.
I know
He is
Winterville.
from Winterville.
He's from
Absolutely.
Winterville,
I know
Georgia.
Winterville.
He's from Winterville. He's not from Athens.
And truthfully, he went to school on the west side, so we do not claim
We
him.
do not
on the
claim
east.
him. That's indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay, I know some
He's
of
a
y'all
Clark
would be
Central graduate.
Exactly.
Right now, they're looking at actually trying to sue the state over the law. The Democrats are looking to sue the state. Keisha, do you think there's a possibility that this law will be overturned?
I think it will, just like the one that Kemp tried to put in place. What is it about the abortion bill? If it's unconstitutional, it gets thrown out.
Yeah.
That's what constitutional lawyers do. They look at the legality as the overall. Like a state can't implement something that's anti-constitution. So when you're talking about your voting rights, I can't see it standing up if it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court or the Georgia for the Georgia state. Georgia Supreme Court may even shoot it down, and then they're going to fight and then appeal it, and then it may appeal all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. But the thing about that is, that's where Trump put his people in before he left at the Supreme Court. So I don't know which way that may fall.
I'm looking at the Supreme Court. I'm hoping the Supreme Court would do this right thing, because the reason I say that is because the Supreme Court and other courts did not even want to hear all the
If
fraud
they threw out
allegations
all those cases,
they didn't want to hear it.
because there was no evidence.
Correct.
There is no.
You don't want that on your
evidence.
watch to go backwards. You don't want to
Yeah.
have something on your watch that is basically undoing the
Correct.
civil rights laws of the 1960s. You
Correct.
just don't want that on your. I hope.
You're trying to make it more difficult for people to. And one of the most heinous parts of this bill, I was about to call it a crime.
It's a crime.
It is a crime
In a way.
But one of the most heinous parts about this is it's against the law to give people water and food as they wait in line.
Yep.
That is the most ridiculous. I'm trying my best not to. I know I'm on the cursing hour, but I'm still trying not the best to curse. My best not to curse. That's one of the most stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. So I just wanted to make sure and clear that. So, and I guess I need to ask someone, if my significant other is standing in line and calls me and said, "Hey, I'm famished. Could you come bring me something?" And I go take something to her. Am I going to get arrested because I passed out something to her and then I saw somebody else who like they were going to die or something and I gave them something as well? Am I going to get arrested and fined?
Yes.
Possibly.
Am
That's why.
I don't know
that's
why they put it in place. I don't know what the issue is with
The
that.
issue is
but
the
it's still part
Democrats-
of trying to make it hard for people to vote.
Because they know, and no offense to my black people, but they know damn well we ain't going to stand in line too damn long out there and be like, okay, I'm not just going to sit here. But if somebody is actually providing us water and food,
people will
more than
stand
likely
in
we
line.
will stay there longer.
People will stand in line, or they'll take one of those chairs that you sit.
Yeah.
Not a regular folding chair necessarily, but one of those that have like the cup holders on the side.
Bring your cooler.
You sit, and a cooler.
I'm bringing a
People
cooler.
will do that if they know they're going to stand in line for 10, 11 hours. Oh,
Okay.
turn your
Right,
mic
because
on, turn
if
your
you
mic
take
on.
away, if you take away
Turn your mic
early
on.
voting, and you take away, these provisions that people put in place to be prepared to stand in line, you're discouraging the vote. It's voter suppression. That's all you're doing because you're already trying to limit the opportunities people have to vote. You're trying to do away with absentee voting because that a lot of your elderly people take advantage of that. So now their vote has been suppressed, and it's all a systematic voter suppression. That's all there is to it. That's what it is.
It's still and you're still politicizing the pandemic.
Yes.
Because that's why a lot of people did the absentee ballot, did the absentee voting anyway.
Yes.
Exactly.
I did it that way.
You did it that
I
way?
wasn't going to stand in line, but if I could do the
didn't trust
absentee ballot, it works. It works.
I believe it.
Because it's easy. It was an easy process for me. And now they're trying to make it harder.
Well,
I agree.
and I must say the a lot of the absentee voting worked because I know someone that works at the post office, and those weeks of he had to make sure that votes were gotten from his post office sent out of here to where they were supposed to go, and him and a lot of his compadres were doing the same thing to make sure that this stuff counted.
And now there are going to be limits or restrictions on the absentee voting, where you have to also provide a photocopy of your ID.
Yeah, that's what
Who
I'm saying.
does that anymore?
Now, let me say this. Now, I'm going
Like,
to
there's
say,
a scanner here at the station, but who uses a
some
scanner
people
like
don't-
that?
Hold on, I do.
But
what?
you're in the
Most
minority.
people don't. But
You're
most people
in the
don't.
minority.
You're right. Most
That's
people
what
don't
I'm
even.
saying.
Most people don't even have a scanner at home.
No.
Exactly.
People don't even have a printer at home.
You got to print it, so they don't. I mean, most black people don't have printers.
right.
Just
No.
The ink is
and
expensive.
scanners.
Like, when do you have
Like
to print anything?
Like the iPhone is a scanner, but then you got to print it. You know.
Yes.
Now, devil's advocate on this. I can't prove that. I'm not going to say that there was mass voter fraud. I'm not saying that. But I can see how I would want to make sure that the person who says they are voting is in fact the person who is voting. I do see a need for that, though.
I mean, we've been in need of every election that has been since we've been allowed to vote, and we understand has been voter fraud.
Yes.
When you register
Dead
to
people
vote,
have been voting since you've been knowing anything about voting.
when you registered to vote, what information did you provide when you registered?
I can't remember. I registered so long, but I know when I go to the polls right now, I give them my ID. So my thing is, when an absentee ballot, like, okay, so for instance, right, I had several absentee ballots sent to my house. I didn't request one. In the past, you used to have to request one. I didn't request
Well,
one.
some
But I
states
could have
sent,
easily
some states sent them out
Yes.
just in case. Like, if you're registered, we'll send you one. If you don't use it,
Correct.
that's fine.
Correct.
But the Republicans saw an issue with that.
Now I sort of can understand that. And here's why I say this. All right. So who's to say if I got my 18-year-old son, my 73-year-old dad living with me? They don't vote. Who's to say I don't get there?
Why do they not vote?
No. I'm saying they don't. I'm just saying if they don't. I'm saying they don't. They vote, but I'm saying if they don't.
Oh, if they got an absentee ballot and
yeah,
you
if they
filled it
got
out
absentee,
for
and
them?
I just filled it out for them because they don't vote.
Okay.
So then I am committing fraud. So I do understand that portion of it is I want to limit
But you
that.
see
But they
how,
still had-
how few cases
Yes.
I don't know.
there are of that?
We don't know. We must be honest about this.
People that are not going
We
to vote
don't-
are not going to vote.
But Rick, back to what I'm just saying right now. We must be honest about this. We don't know how many cases of that actually happen.
You're right.
If it's on a grand scale,
We don't know if it's a grand scale or not, though.
but that's the thing. If it's on a grand scale,
go ahead, Keith.
what is the purpose of that?
But that's what
like
I'm saying.
there has to be money
It's
involved.
My thing is to eliminate.
It has to be like this great
because
big conspiracy.
It can be a grand scale, but you won't know. Like, the only way you will know is if you actually see the person who's filling out the forms, and no one's there at your house watching someone fill out those forms.
But we're talking about like 3.
So,
If in
Okay.
your scenario,
Yeah,
3.
Okay,
I can see.
But if
I
it was
can see
like
that.
5,000
But
and they all
I
have the same
don't see
address,
but you're talking about how many homes is this possibly happening in?
But Will.
How many homes?
These are
I'm
people
just
that are
wondering.
living. Your daddy and your son are living.
Correct. So,
These people that are dead, that's voting. That's I mean,
But this is still fraud. Is fraud though, Rick. If I'm filling out a form that my dad and my son is supposed to fill out, and I'm voting for them, then that is fraud. So I do understand a need to say, hey, it's a possibility that this could be happening.
But
so let's eliminate that
eliminate.
possibility. I do see that though. Because if I was the one running, I want to make damn sure Greg ain't filling out forms for his parents. You ain't filling out forms for your kids and your parents.
Why?
Because you might be going against me. So now I'm going to lose because you're filling out forms for your parents and your family members.
Because of my little 3 votes.
You know how much your 3 votes are per household?
3?
No, okay.
Hey, it's about
how many households are there?
Hold up, Will, before you get excited. Hold up, Will, before you get excited. It's about that time. Hey, we finna get ready to take a break. We finna get ready to take a break, and when we come back, we gonna touch on Ella B Keisha, before we get into what you do. When we come back, we got to touch one more hot one.
For the ladies.
we got to touch one more hot one.
In honor of, what's this month?
Women's National Women's Month.
Women's History Month.
Yes, sir.
What's it called again?
No, don't put that, because that's not.
In honor of Women's History Month, we're going to talk about Mr. Derek
Jackson.
Mr.
That
Derek
is
Jackson.
National for awareness. Okay.
I wasn't in this production.
But yeah, we gonna be right on it, and so like I said, we finna get ready. We finna get ready to go to radio. Please tune in. We will be right back.
For the ladies.
I done told you before that it's over, leave me alone. No, it's hurting you to see me gone.
March is Women's History Month, and we'll be celebrating contributions to history, culture, and society all month long. Before Simone Biles changed the rules, before Gabby Douglas had her life story turned into a movie.
Now here is Dominique Dawes, the performance we've all been waiting for.
We had Dominique Dawes, one of the most decorated American gymnasts ever. Dawes has 15 national championship gold medals, 4 world championship medals, and 4 Olympic medals, including gold as part of the Team All-Around in 1996. She's the first African American to win an Olympic gold medal in gymnastics. Stay tuned with Real 1100 as we continue to celebrate women throughout March.
It's a perfect performance. It's a 10 for Dominique Dawes.
You are tuned into WWE Hakeville, AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Thank you for tuning in to Talking Random-ish with King and Sane and the lovely Starlight.
You are live. Can you bring us in?
Oh my God.
Can you please bring us in?
Go ahead,
Bruno.
I am
What you finna do for? What you finna do for?
I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open.
Oh, can you bring our show back in, sir?
Welcome back to Shop Talking Randomish with King Insane and the super producer Greg up in the building. Woo! Boy, I'm telling you, boy.
You done left the door open for her.
Hey, look, man. In the honor of Women's Appreciation Month, them boys made a song right there. Good Lord, boy.
That they song.
Boy.
Gonna leave the door open for
Boy,
her.
I'm leaving the door open, boy.
Is that what Dexter Jackson did? Did he leave the door open?
Who that?
Dexter?
Dexter. No, his name is not Dexter.
What was his name?
Derek.
D. Jackson. D. Jackson.
Derek Jackson.
Did he leave the door open for her?
Leave the door open for who?
The women left the door open for him.
No, but this girl was at his house.
What's she
So he had to leave the door open for her.
Wait a minute, hold on. Time
Like the
out.
old term said,
well,
who
in that
the hell
case, he left the door
gate
open
open?
sometimes.
Okay, hold on. Let's back up because I don't know the whole story. All I know is Derek came out and said he got caught. Derek came out and admitted to
Well, let's talk. Who the hell is Derek
Derek
Jackson?
Jackson is a relationship quote unquote guru to the women. All right, the women love him. He's about 6'5", dark skin, black brother. I ain't gonna say chocolatey. I ain't gonna call him that because that's kind of on that side. But he's a handsome brother. I'm gonna say that.
Uh-huh.
He's a handsome brother, big dude. And
He do it
everything.
for you?
Buff dude, not for me. No.
Not for you. Okay.
Buff dude and everything and all that kind of stuff. So he's eye candy to the women. So
Uh-huh.
Derek Jackson, when
Gives
he
relationship advice from his truck.
he gives relationship advice from his truck, and as someone said, he was usually probably giving that relationship advice either as he was going to go cheat. Or
Oh, we were coming from cheat.
One
First-hand account. That's how he knew.
One woman said that he did a
did.
video and he was outside her house.
He was outside her house. She did say that. Yes, she did say he was in her yard recording. That is her background in her neighborhood in the recording. She did say that.
Hey, regardless of how you feel about the dude, I'm not a fan of his, but I love that. That's gangster.
But the one where he
gangster.
he made the video with his wife and then he made the video critiquing his own video.
Oh, that's
Hey,
gangster.
but hey,
That
that's
one was
great.
outside the
Hey.
other woman's house.
hey,
No, he wasn't.
this dude is a classic narcissist.
Wait a minute, he was outside of the woman's house when he did the critique.
Yes, when he did the critique of his own video,
No,
he was outside of another woman's house.
Yeah, he was outside of another woman's house. And that woman, I believe, said she had an abortion for him, and she had got pregnant. Yes. Another woman said he paid $1,500 to fly her out, so apparently he didn't pay her enough to leave. Yeah, he had a lot going on. He's got like 4 mistresses that have come out so far.
Okay.
So he done left a whole bunch of doors open.
Okay.
One recorded. Didn't one have pictures of his marital bedroom?
Yes, I
There was
think
one-
one spoke.
yes, there was
the
a lot
pictures of the
going on.
room and
was
the
in
house
his
and yes,
Dang, Derek, don't let him.
Yeah, he was sloppy.
I don't believe in that now.
you can't.
You can't do that.
You can't come in my house.
Nah, you
can't.
You been told those.
There's some rules- there's some rules to this.
She know that you've been in there. No.
So what part of the fuckboyism do you believe in?
Okay.
Tell us more. What part?
Of what's that? What part of what?
No, don't say that again.
What's he saying?
What part of
Keep
the
it
F
clean.
boy?
Keep it
part
clean.
of
Keep it clean.
the fuckboyism do you do
Yes.
believe in? What part of it? Because you said you don't believe in bringing them in the house. What part?
I don't believe in any of it now.
Okay.
That was when I was of the world.
Of the world. That's-
That was when I was of the world. I'm not of the world anymore.
oh, so he changed your life.
No, Derek, you changed my life.
He ain't did nothing for me.
So let's talk about this.
So
Derek thing.
Keisha, was you a Derek fan?
Well, you're a fan of
I
Derek.
was not. Let me tell you something. And anybody who has been on my Facebook for a while, back in 2016, there was some stuff came out because he hid his whole marriage back in 2016, and he came out saying, "Oh, you know, this mysterious baby popped up picture on his chest," and women were like, "Wait, baby? I thought you wasn't that dude. Like everything is supposed to be sacred and within marriage." So he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm married, and I've been married for X amount of time." So that's when it was kind of like, okay, so you just pandering. You're not walking this walk. And there was rumors back maybe about 5 years ago. So after that, I just kind of was like, okay. So this stuff right here is not shocking to me because he pulled one of these about 5 years ago. He is the new John Gray.
Okay, who's John Gray?
Who's John Gary?
The pastor.
The pastor that keeps getting caught cheating.
And
He had a
buys
show
it- then he buys his
on.
wife
The
a
one that
Lamborghini
eat-
or something.
The one,
that's the
oh,
Lambo?
the one that buy the Lambos.
Yeah,
When
he
get
buys
caught
his wife
cheating,
Lambo.
Okay.
Or he'll buy
Got
a
caught.
Bentley
Yeah.
Really?
or something. Yeah.
And he's still a preacher.
Yes,
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 still
y'all
the
still,
next
yes,
person.
y'all still
Still
go.
too.
Yes, y'all still go to his church.
Okay, so all right, so
Yeah,
Derek.
he got a church out in Greenville, South Carolina.
So Derek Jackson. So this whole Derek Jackson thing prompted me and Rick to have another conversation, but it's still off of Derek Jackson. Now, first of all, like I said, I'm not a fan of Derek Jackson, but I do agree with some of the things Derek Jackson has said, and I understand as a man what Derek Jackson is doing as far as what he's saying to women and why he's saying it to women. I feel a lot of men don't like what Derek Jackson is saying. One, because I think they're envious of Derek Jackson. I really do. I think
Envious of him? Why?
because
Envious?
no. I'm gonna tell you about men. I'm gonna tell you about men.
Please tell me about.
I would
Please.
tell you- I would tell you,
I'm listening.
some men, if they actually check themselves, they're jealous because Derek Jackson is. These women are listening to him. Derek Jackson has these women's attention. These
They also
women's
listen to
attention.
Stephen
But
Harvey.
hold on, and men were jealous of Steve Harvey as well, because they said Stevie Harvey shouldn't be telling these women.
But
this.
Steve
And they were
Harvey
calling-
was sitting on some ish himself.
But see, once again, the thing what I'm saying is I'm giving you a few reasons why I feel that men have
Okay,
a problem with
go-
Derek
go
Jackson.
ahead, I'm sorry.
One I do feel is they envy Derek Jackson. They wish that women looked at them the way that and listened to them the way that they listen to Derek Jackson.
So if they lie, okay, let me say, but if they lie to,
We'll get to that part.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that
I'm
part.
sorry.
The second part I think that men hate about Derek Jackson is that, yes, it sounds as if Derek Jackson is bashing every male, but if you actually listen to it, Derek Jackson is saying a lot of the same stuff you would tell your sister, your mom, your sister, your mama, your daughter, your best female friend. You would tell these women the same exact thing that Derek Jackson is telling these women.
but
So-
why?
But here's my problem
why?
with Derek
Because
Jackson
you don't
as a
want them
woman.
to be hurt.
But
You
he's
don't want them to
but
see
he's
the
out
issue.
hurting.
No. Stop for a minute, Rick. We're gonna get to that part. You asked me why Derek Jackson is doing it. I'm telling you why. He's telling these women.
No, he's doing it for clout.
okay.
Right.
Okay,
Period.
He may be doing it for crowd,
That's it.
but I still say is the advice that he's given not sound advice.
But
It-
what good is the advice when you're doing the things
Okay.
that you're saying other men shouldn't be doing
Thank-
to somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, somebody's sister in your real life, though?
Thank you
Because
for saying that. Thank you for saying that, Keisha, because that's the argument me and Rick had the other day. If a crackhead told me, "Stop, don't smoke crack," that is still sound advice, even though that crackhead is smoking crack. So I can't tell. So you're gonna tell me?
right, but that crackhead is a walking billboard.
But he's
Crackhead
telling me.
is in plain sight. Where this was hidden until the women outed him. Well, actually, another blogger outed him. So he was going to continue the facade. A crackhead has no facade. When I look at that crackhead, I look at him and say, I don't want your life.
Okay,
I tell you nothing.
but what that do? And me and Rick spoke about this earlier. Okay, it doesn't matter. Why does it matter what I do in my personal life if what I'm saying is still true words?
Because actions speak
Do you-
louder than
but-
words.
But why do you have to see? But
Because your son,
I never told you
Jace,
to follow me,
Jace,
though.
Jace is not going by. He's not following your words. He's following your footsteps.
if I never, but Derek Jackson is not my. I'm not. All right. So here's my thing. Derek Jackson never said "do as I do." Derek Jackson never says I'm a perfect man.
but Derek
people say-
Jackson has condemned. He has
I've
condemned,
condemned-
ridiculed.
You know what I've done? I've condemned people who committed the same crimes I've done. I have done that. I've condemned people who've done the exact same thing.
How many followers you have?
I've done. It does. I could. Why do you say that, Rick?
Okay.
Because I could have millions of followers. if
I wish you
wanted
would
to.
get a million
You know what I'm
damn
saying?
followers.
But the
I wish you would. I wish you would.
Too many people be in my private life, and I really love my private life.
I wish you would get a million.
I really
That sure would
I
help.
really love my private life.
Speaking of which, we are sponsored tonight by.
Great segue.
Speaking of which, let me pull this up. We are sponsored tonight by Sherman Gartrell with King Enterprise. That's KINGH. It stands for Keep It in God's Hands. where we can print your name on anything. His number is 706-255-5697. That's www.mykinghenterprise.com. mykinghenterprise.com. That's 706-255-5697. We're sponsored by Sharma King, my cousin. Thank you for this beautiful banner that we got. Cuz, thank you. Please reach out. Say, hey, and if you say Talking Random Miss sent you, we might have something for you.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you folk. Now.
I'm listening to you.
Cuz,
Talk to me.
Will,
Talk to me.
people follow actions.
If you don't see the actions, how can you follow the actions?
But
See-
when I
see-
but when
once
I
again,
see your actions,
right? No.
but when I see your actions,
but are my words still not the same? Are
no,
my
they're
words-
not. Because if you're preaching and insisting,
They don't mean anything.
thank you.
Okay.
Mean absolutely nothing at this
Okay,
point.
let me ask y'all all this simple question.
Oh,
Okay.
if he
No,
didn't get caught,
stop.
would it still be-
Stop. Here is the question.
Okay.
Should a man cheat on his wife? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
No. Hold on.
Stop.
No.
That's
That's not.
no
You
segue.
can't say
There's
yes or
no
no
segue.
because you don't know. No.
There is
Hold
no
up,
segue
Will.
to that.
Hold up, Will.
Okay.
You can't say
Let's
yes
get
or
to
no
the
to
question.
that because you don't know I don't care. I can walk over here where you at.
I hear you. I hear you all through the glass. Go ahead. I'm listening. Because I put this down. Okay.
Because you don't know the agreement or the
That's not cheating. If it's agreement between her and I.
between you and her.
Then that's not cheating.
Okay, so
I said the simple question, yes or no, is should a man cheat on his woman? Yes or no? That's
no.
Okay, so if I cheat, though I cheat on my woman, if I say you should not cheat on your woman, you're telling me that my words are still don't. You should.
No,
that
they
mean-
don't.
that mean-
Because let me tell you what your
that mean
son
you
doing.
should-
Let me tell you what your
No,
son
no,
doing.
I asked
Let
you-
me tell you what your
I
son
didn't
doing.
ask you,
But let me tell you what your son
I didn't ask
doing.
you if I'm morally correct. What I asked you was, are the words still the same? Are the words still true?
No, they don't hold that weight.
It ain't about the weight. Are the words still true?
No.
The words aren't true anymore, Greg?
At that point, the messenger
Not-
matters.
fi-
That matters.
The messenger ain't
that
worth
matters.
I don't care about the messenger.
That matters. Though.
I'm asking you about, is the message still right?
It ain't worth a damn coming from the messenger.
Okay.
Can I interject? on
Yes,
that?
ma'am. Go ahead.
Y'all so
Because I think,
Go ahead,
because
Ms.
I think-
Bolton.
I think the conversation is going hypothetical versus the facts of this case. So the particular facts of Derek Jackson's case,
Particular.
that's all I'm speaking on, not the hypotheticals of men cheating and
Great that
what's
you say that.
agreements you have within your marriage.
Yes.
But my understanding is all of the women that he had have spoken out about their relationships came to Derek Jackson on his platform for relationship advice. And then it turned into,
I can
let's
heal
hang
you.
out to them having relations.
I can lay these
Now,
hands
I
on
liken
you.
that, because you're supposed to be a guru or an expert, I liken that to a therapist basically taking advantage of somebody in their weak and vulnerable moment.
That's
And
amazing.
then
Entanglement.
next thing you know, you're sleeping with your
Entanglement.
client. Now, I know he's
Her
not
name Jada
certified
Pinkett
nothing,
Smith.
but yes. But that's a different level of I'm just out here meeting women on the
Keisha,
street. He
Keisha.
was using his platform to meet these women.
Keisha, stop
What?
that. Stop that. I'm going to tell you why I say stop that, Keisha.
Well, I gotta
I'm going to
stop.
tell you to stop that, Keisha. You want to know why? Because Derek isn't a therapist. Derek is that same homeboy who says, cry on my shoulder, and as you cry and tell me about your man, now I'm finna kiss you on your cheek. Now I'm finna rub your booty.
See,
Derek-
he wasn't
No, I
even
know
doing. He
you
wasn't
don't
doing
get
that.
No.
He was meeting women and saying,
I know.
and they're
No, she
like,
said
"Oh,
she
aren't
was
you
helping.
married?"
But she said he was helping him, and I was like, if that was the case, she put him as likening him to a therapist.
Yes.
I'm like,
I
no,
did, because
I
that's
liken
what
him
he
to-
wanted.
No, I liken him to if he did that. If that was the case, I liken him to that guy friend who says, "Oh, he did you wrong. Well, baby girl, come here. Let me talk to you for a minute. You want some of this wine? Have some of this wine. Let me tell you about this guy that used to be."
And that would be fair if guy friend was single and I'm breaking up with a boyfriend. We talking about a married man with children whose wife
Yeah, they do it
obviously is
too.
not with it. So
They do it too, Keisha. They do it too.
I know they do it too, but it don't make it right.
But where, like, he was also like meeting these women and saying that, like, if they knew who he was,
Yeah.
and they knew he was married, like, oh, we're separated. We're going to get we're
Yeah,
about
he
to get a
lied.
divorce.
I
He
don't
used that
agree
every
with-
time.
Listen, everybody. I'm not saying morally Derek Jackson was correct. I'm not saying that. what I am saying is, even if I am morally incorrect in what I'm doing in my private life, does not mean that I'm not giving you sound advice.
But it doesn't carry weight. It holds no weight.
You keep worrying about weight. What I'm saying is
That's
it
what
still
matters.
not? No,
That's what matters.
is the word.
It matters to Jace.
If I see you getting beat, if I see a woman getting, Derek Jackson, basically this is Derek Jackson. He feels a woman is getting mentally abused.
But he's mentally abusing.
Hold on. Derek Jackson is hearing a woman tell him about this guy. He tells the woman the tactics that man is using. All right. Now,
How did he know those tactics?
because he's used them.
Oh, okay.
That's how and you know what? I have several female friends, and they know this. I tell my female friends because you know why? This is stuff that I've done. So when they relate to me, and yes, guys, you can call me hey, I don't give a damn. You need to switch up your game. I'll tell you that much. Come better with it. But here's the thing. If the female tells me what is going on,
And we're going to get to Waukesha here.
if a female tells me what's going on, I listen to her. I say, okay. From what I think about what the guy's doing, I first want to know what you do. Because I do put it on the female as well. A guy does what you allow him to do. Though.
Yes.
So
That's true.
That's the part of it.
Yes.
No, that's what I tell people all the time.
Yes.
I trust you, baby. I just don't trust other guys. He's lying. He don't trust you, woman. And the reason why he doesn't, because you're not supposed to trust another man. If you tell your wife that, go ahead and tell your wife the truth. I don't trust you, baby. That's why I don't want you around all those guys. But guys don't do that.
Will say, we have a woman in the building.
Yes, we need to talk.
for the last Friday in National Women's History.
Keisha, thank you for coming.
Yay!
I want to a distinguished woman of the Classic City is in the building with us tonight. She's not only a teacher, she's an activist, she's a shoe, all of that.
Come on, get my past anniversary. Come on.
She I mean, actually, you in the barbershop. We don't do any bios. Who the hell are you and why are you in my barbershop tonight, Miss Keisha?
Okay, well, I have to caution myself when I picked up the phone because Rick or whatever y'all, it's always been Ricky to me, so he doesn't like that, but he's going to be Ricky to me.
All right.
So
I know who your mom is.
But yes, I am a 20-year veteran in education, but I also have like 11 side hustles because, yeah, there's that. Of course, I'm a proud woman of Delta Sigma Theta, of course. Also, I am, yes, a born and bred East Side resident of the Classic City.
706, stand up.
706, Spring Valley, proud.
Yes.
And I'm currently also a life insurance agent, and I also do loan signing, but that's a whole nother business that we ain't got time to discuss. But however, today, I guess I've been calling to the barbershop to talk about this little old thing called life insurance and why, especially us in the Black community, needs to do a little bit more of talking about it, having the conversation, making sure that it's up and kept up, and making sure that we are efficiently covered. Because like I tell people all the time, death is an appointment that we all must keep.
Oh, gosh.
Now, my first question to you.
Oh, gosh.
The way you said it, oh, gosh, we got to keep that appointment. Can I tell you?
Yes. Keisha, my first question to you is, white folks have used life insurance to become wealthy.
Absolutely.
How and why has that missed my community?
Well, because we always, it's how it's been marketed to us. You know, we all had that grandmama who, you know, would go in her purse every time they get that hard knock on the door and that white man standing at the door with a briefcase and that's the insurance man and I got to pay that penny policy. Yeah. That's the only introduction that I remember growing up as insurance. You got that, you know, that little envelope that your grandma kept in the kitchen and you knew that was her life insurance policy or her burial insurance policy.
Yes.
That's the way that it's always been marketed to our community as something to bury you with, but we don't get the whole living benefit of life insurance. Back in Black History Month, for example, I posted an actual policy on my Facebook page that was written on a slave. White people knew how to protect their assets, but I guess because we have still been trying to just attain assets, that we have not, we're still behind in any kind of thing financial in this country as far as, okay, now you have the asset, you got to protect it. And for some reason, our lives have not been valued in our community as an asset. Like your death can pull your next generation out of a hole if you plan it right.
I think you just touched on something though, because black people as a whole do not know the difference between liabilities and assets. We think I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna have to say it. Yes, we think.
Yes,
we think assets are cars, purses, shoes, jewelry. We're thinking those are assets. Many of our people go out and obtain those instead of actually obtaining real assets. Those are liabilities. I think that's what we first must start explaining to people when we start doing this financial literacy, is explaining and expressing to them the difference between liabilities and assets.
Absolutely.
Do you do that? Do you do that when you go out to speak with people about insurance?
Yes, I mean, my thing is, because again, most people are looking at life insurance is, oh, I got a policy, my mama got a policy to bury me with. And I'm like, okay, but you own a house, don't you? Or you got a mortgage. Okay, so who's going to pay this mortgage if you die? Who's going to protect this asset? Because this is an asset. If I'm in you got your car paid, your car insurance, but what about this home? If you got kids, if you got an income, your income can be deemed an asset, because if you die and your income goes away. Yeah. So what's going to protect this income if you die tomorrow? Who is going to help these people that are left living move on? You'll be buried, but that's it. That little $10,000, $15,000 burial policy is not going to do nothing for those people that's left behind.
Okay, Keisha, about a couple weeks ago, we had Fathers in Finance and Mothers, Money and Mothers, I think I'm saying it right, on the show. And basically, it was a financial literacy conversation. And insurance was a big topic in that conversation. MULs is more specific.
IULs, yes.
IULs. You made a post probably about a month and a half ago talking about IULs. And right at that same time, me and Dr. Marcy Thurman Simmons was having a conversation about IULs. Why is this just coming to our community, IULs? First of all, and explain it to us as if we are 5-year-olds. What is an IUL? Second question, why is it just now coming to our community? And the third question is, how do we qualify for this?
Okay, IULs basically is a type of a quote unquote permanent life insurance, but it's more affordable than whole life. With whole life, and we'll talk about that, whole versus term versus these IUL policies. But anyway, IUL is a type of permanent life insurance, which means it has a cash value component to it, and that is very important to when you're talking about building generational wealth, because when it has a cash value component, that means that you have money there that you can borrow against if you need to. People have started businesses off their cash value, and once their business get off the ground, they just put it back. So you become your own bank through your life insurance policy. So the money in your cash value account can earn interest in an IUL based on the stock market, because that's what IUL is. It's an index universal life insurance policy. So they basically take whatever your policy accumulates in cash value, and then they just basically play the S&P 500 in the stock market. So if y'all had a conversation about financial planning or whatever, you learn like the S&P, different kind of different type of investments or index funds such as S&P, which is basically the 500, all those top 500 companies that you can invest in. Yeah. So basically, you are accumulating cash value quickly because they're basically using your policy and playing it in the stock. I hate to say playing it like it's a lotto, but yes, they're investing it into the stock market.
So
I hope that wasn't too much to understand.
No. That's exactly what we need. We need it that
Okay.
way. Now, when you say it has a cash option, you say you can take that money out, use that money. So typically, let's say what's a typical IUL policy? How much is a typical IUL policy?
What do you mean typical?
Typically, let's say okay, so at the lowest I'm looking at what, probably like a $20,000 or $50,000. I can get like a $50,000 policy.
Yeah, you can get a $50,000, but I mean IULs, like I said, they're a little bit more affordable. So I wouldn't even get a 50. Let's say you're 30 years old.
Let's do this.
And you have a decent job.
So let's use me.
Decent salary. I would get $100,000.
Okay, let's use me. I'm 40. Okay. I'm 45. All right, so I'm 45. Mm-hmm. And I bring home. Let's say I bring home $36,000 a year.
Okay.
What type of IUL do you look at me at 45? You say, okay, I could probably have. I could probably use.
Now, at 45, honestly and truthfully, you're gonna and with that salary, I would not put you with an IUL.
Okay.
Me personally, I like to do IULs on younger people. Okay. But let's say if you was 45 and you like, you know what, I live below my means and I got the money to put in, and I say, I would want to go ahead and get an IUL and try to accumulate whatever cash value I can in it. You could get one of those policies for about $300 a year.
Okay, so let's
$25,000.
Okay, let's say so. My son is 26 years old. My son's 20.
Okay.
Is my son 26? Yeah, my son's 26 years old. I'm getting old. My son is 26 years old. So let's put him in a scenario. He makes $4,000 a year. I mean $48,000 a year.
$48,000.
Makes $48,000 a year. So, do you look at an IUL for him, and show us how fast it can accumulate to a sort of cash value? Does that make sense?
Oh, it's going to accumulate. It's going to accumulate pretty quickly. I don't have like a rate calculator in front of me, but let's say let me give you like the numbers. Okay, so he makes how much? 40,000.
48,000.
$48,000 a year, so he makes a decent salary.
Correct.
That means that let's say if he wanted to get a $300,000, he's 26 years old. He gets $300,000. He'd pay like $100 a month on that policy. Mm-hmm. By the time he is 45, which is the older gentleman's age, he's got a good little nest egg of cash value accumulated. I'd say at least probably like $30,000.
Okay.
And so let's say he wants to start a business. I don't know. Let's say he's interested in being a mobile chef. He wants a food truck. And we know food trucks are popular now. And a food truck will run you probably like fully laced, maybe about $25,000, $30,000. He can get a loan against his cash value.
Okay.
And then what that would do to his policy, they would deduct that $30,000 until he pays it back. So now instead of having a $300,000 policy, he now has a $270,000 policy. But he still is his own bank.
Thank you. That's the simplification of it that we need. Thank you. That shows us how we can accumulate this cash value. We have a $300,000 policy.
And you don't have to go to the bank and beg nobody for no loan or this and so. This is your policy. You've been paying on it. You want to follow your passion. You got money sitting there to follow your passion.
That makes perfect sense.
For your kids.
For your kids. And then you still have your policy because let's say your food truck is going to be booming. You're pulling up at all the hospitals on third shift. You're pulling up at all the logistics companies, the warehouses, whatever, third shift. You're making your money. You taking home probably about $10,000 a month. You're going to pay that loan back. But guess what? Now you got a business that is generating income that you can take and then live the life you want to live. Now, you might want to do that part-time or whatever. But that's that conversation of life insurance that the others have known about that we still trying to catch up.
That makes sense because people don't come in our house and explain it to us that way.
All they want to do is sell you those penny policies. So that's all they feel like. It's just like we talked about with the voter suppression. They feel like I can't talk to this person about finances and how to get ahead because they're using TV to dictate to them as what our culture is interested in doing. They're not talking to our culture. They're assuming our culture based about the culture that the media has put out about it. It's like, oh, we're just about shiny things. We're not about leaving anything to the next generation. We're about spending it all while we're living and then letting everybody get it out the mud. I don't know about you, but I don't want my kids to have to get it out the mud. I didn't have to get it out the mud. Now, my parents did, but my parents had the foresight to say, I don't want this life for my kids, so why wouldn't we want to continue that?
That's true. That's true. So I already know what term and whole is, but can you explain to the listeners?
Please explain the difference
whole.
between term and whole life.
Okay, whole life is just like it says. It's for your whole life. So you'll be paying on it. You could do what's called 20 pay a lot of times, which you could pay it up in 20 years, or you could pay it your whole life. And usually the payments drop off somewhere in your 80s, probably up to 90 years old. But you'll be paying a premium either annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly on that for the whole life. Where term insurance is for a term. Sometimes it's 10-year terms, 15-year terms, 20, 25, 30-year terms. So after that term is up, you could either renew the policy or let it go. Now, as a broker, I would usually suggest, let's say you get a house, and let's say your house is a $250,000 house. I would say, okay, well, you need a 30-year term, $250,000. Well, why do I need 30-year term, $250,000? Because if something happened to you before this mortgage is paid up, your family hasn't paid for a house.
Correct.
So term is used for me. Term is when you are still paying off stuff. So in the event that you die, that's where you go get a $300,000 or $500,000 term policy. That if something happens to you, your family won't miss a beat in the financial obligations that you took on when you died. That's what that's for. You get that in addition to that $10,000 or $15,000 burial policy. So they're not paying for your burial out of that money that you have earmarked to take care of the family after you're gone.
And I'm glad you just mentioned that because recently I retired from the military. And the military has a great retirement. I mean, a great insurance plan. I can't find it anywhere else, and I'm out here looking now, and I'm good God, I got to pay now, like I don't know what. But it was $10,000 went to your family for like your burial. $100,000, I think it was $100,000, and of that $100,000, that was called a death gratuity. That went immediately to the family members to say, hey, expenses have to be taken care of. Here's $100,000. Hey, do what you have to do. Then they gave you the policy the policy that you paid for, which was actually up to a $400,000 policy. And I think I only paid like $30-something a month for that, which was great and excellent. Good gosh, I missed that thing. Anyway,
what was the underwriting like? Did you have to do a full physical, or it was just?
Well, you're in the military.
You're in the military, so yeah.
Once I do my physical,
so you're already healthy, right?
Yeah. As my health declines while I'm in the military, they don't care. You're in the military.
Right.
You're still covered. Now that I'm out the military and I'm trying to get that same type of plan,
you're not gonna get it.
Oh my gosh, especially not for the price.
It's gonna be expensive. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
but that's the other factor with life insurance. You don't get it. You don't get it when you're sick. You get it when you're healthy. So in addition to that military plan, of course, hindsight is always 20/20. I would have gotten me a civilian plan, just on the side, outside of that. Now, what the thing is about military is it's hard for life insurance to insure you because you are military, especially if you go active.
Oh yeah,
because that's considered dangerous work. But yeah, you're right. After when people start, I know a lot of people that were in the military and they're looking for that same thing the military had to offer, and I had to tell them like, yeah, you can get it, but you're gonna pay for it.
So side note on what you're saying. So I did have a civilian policy outside the military. I got it in my early 30s. The policy was I think it was like another $250,000, and I was paying like $13 a month.
Right.
I let it go.
Oh Lord.
I know, ignorant. I let it go. Now I'm trying to get that $13 policy.
No, sir.
Hey,
no,
you're not going to get it.
No, sir. You older.
They pay like $70 for it now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God.
Exactly. They're not going to get it because the older you get, the more it costs.
So if you get it when you're young,
Young.
do not let it go.
Yeah.
Yes.
See? Hey, look. See?
It's simple.
Back to Derrick Jackson. I just gave you sound advice. I
Oh,
let
my
my
God.
insurance go,
But you didn't
I
practice
just
it.
told you that you should keep. See, but the words are still true.
No, but see,
Gotcha. But it's true though.
Lord have mercy.
that's
You
actually what
get
happened.
me. I'm not in it.
That's
My
actually
name
what
is
happened
Ed.
though. That is actually what
Keisha,
happened.
you are also a Sheldon got one of them things, the stamp,
A notary.
a notary.
Yes.
What the hell is a notary? And what is
We are,
that?
we,
And
are,
what the-
we are the fraud protectors, for lack of a better term. Okay, so a notary is you're an appointed person that basically, when you get something notarized, basically that is proof that this is the person who the person standing in front of me is the person who is signing this document.
Yes.
Now, for general notarization, yes, it's usually used in legal terms that, yes, this person then signed this under duress. This isn't a forged signature. I've looked at their license. I've verified this person is who they say they are. That's what a notary is, basically. Now, when it comes to loans, of course, you want to make sure that, because it's crazy stuff, y'all, in the notary world. People be trying to, another thing about assets, and this is why the two worlds go together. People be trying to scam their loved ones out of their property.
That's true.
And they use notaries to do it. And when you're going, like, they will call you, because, I've gotten these calls from the hospital. And if you don't know the questions to ask, and they'll be on I'm power attorney or whatever, or I'm calling, they're calling on behalf of that person. I always like to, when they call from the hospital, I like to talk to the nurse. There has been cases where the nurse gets on the phone and they wait till the person walk out the room and they're like, this person can't even speak, cannot grip a pen or whatever. Do not come up here.
Get out of here.
I've heard of people trying to, I've heard of a guy trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do, but he was trying to finesse his baby mama out the house, trying to get documents notarized. He was trying to have her sign the house over to him fraudulently and using a notary to do it. So notaries are that buffer between scammers because people do scam.
How hard is it to become a notary? Because it sounds because it sounds like it sounds simple, and it sounds like the notary it's easy for the notarizer. Is that the word, notarizer? Or notary?
Go for it. You're in the barber
notary
shop.
agent.
Yeah, notary agent. It sounds like the notary agent could probably be a part of a scam.
Yeah, and that's why you have to go through. Well, Georgia is very lenient, and they leave it to the counties.
Yeah.
If you're in Fulton County, of course, because it's Fulton County and it's home of the scammer, you got to jump through a lot of hoops to become a notary. But here in Athens, it's literally like you have to have two people that will vouch for your character, and you go down to the clerk's office and they swear you in, and the state of Georgia just trusts that you ain't no scammer otherwise. So if you're in like a rural part of town, but you have to be a resident of that area. But if you are in a rural place, yes, it's more of a trust factor. But if your name pop up on a document that's fraud, you may be liable. So, like, for example, for me to be a notary, and every notary doesn't do this, but I'm one of those people that go above and beyond. I carry $1 million insurance, Ease and O's insurance. Outside of my insurance that I carry to sell life insurance. I have life insurance for $2 million, and I have notary insurance that just covers my notary work for $1 million for that. Because if somebody sues you, you don't want them to take your house.
You got kids?
I do.
I was about to ask to be one of your dependents on that $2 million.
But because all you can do as a notary is hope this person didn't scam you, because people make some good fake licenses, But if it comes back on you, you want to be covered. But yeah, notaries, it seems kind of like, God, that's so boring. But you'd be surprised at the kind of phone calls you get as a notary.
No, because you'd be amazed at the things you have to get notarized.
Right.
If you're trying to do business, even with schools and school stuff, you
Yeah.
have to, every time you turn around, you have to get a notarized. Then you like, who the hell is a notary? Where can I get a notary?
Find one.
Yes.
But then, I'm that person like, hey, I'll come to you.
And you
What
can't
you got?
You can't notarize your own documents, correct?
No, you cannot notarize your own documents. But yeah, I will come wherever people are. I notarize on top of a hood, back of pickup truck, whatever I got to do.
How much is typical charge for a notary?
It depends. Now, I'm a notary, and then I'm a loan signing agent. So a notary work, the state of Georgia only allows you to charge $2 per signature and up to $4 per signature. But as a mobile notary, which I am, I charge them for coming to them. So it could be anywhere between $25 and $50 per trip. I don't do per signature at that point. It's just if I come out there, that's what I'm going to charge depending on how far I have to come. Now, loan signing agent, that's a whole nother animal because then I can charge, I usually can charge up to $125 per, session. Or, when it was COVID, you can get up to $250 per session. And basically you're doing now a lot of people are refinancing their homes. Mm-hmm. And I'm the person that comes in with the document, sign here, I notarize it along the way, I take it to FedEx and send it off to the mortgage company.
Dang. So people aren't going into the sit down in the rooms anymore.
Yeah, you have to go to their house. Yeah.
Okay, man. It reminds me because I was taking a real estate class, and that's exactly one of the things our real estate instructor, our realtor instructor, he told us that. He said, "Go become a notary."
Right.
A notary agent.
A notary.
Yeah. Good God.
Become a notary.
Well, I'm trying to make this word so different.
Because if you're a notary public, and let's say in between houses, because real estate is one of those careers that feasts the famine. If you're a loan signing agent and you get signed with these title companies or these mortgage companies, and they'll call you because, like I said, this is the end of the month, so my phone been ringing, and like I said, I was coming from an appointment before I got on this call. They will call you and they ask you how much would you charge to go to the next county over and get these documents and shipped them back. You can name, at this point, still during COVID, you can name your price.
Oh shoot! Let me go apply tomorrow.
Okay.
So I know loan signing agents that make $10,000, $12,000 a month.
But how do you become a loan signing agent? Is that the same?
That's a different level of expertise. You have to do additional training and get certified. And then, of course, you must have that insurance that I told you about that just will cover you just in case you mess up somebody's documents or their loan don't go through because you made a mistake or it was time sensitive and you didn't get it back on time. But you have to get some certifications, which certifications are that much. Of course, all the printing of the documents is on you. That's part of your fee. So if they call you, they're going to email you the documents, and then you're going to print them yourselves and get in the car and go to the person's home because they cut out the middleman.
Oh, yeah.
Then you just basically get on those signing sites and then wait on the phone to ring and go to work.
That's good business. Okay. That's a good business.
But it's definitely something, in the summer, because, I'm a teacher. I'm a seasonal worker. So in the summers, I can be wide open and in the wind, and that's what I do.
And I'm going to come back to your teaching. Eric, you got a question?
I do. Hey, Keisha, hypothetically, if I want to get some life insurance and I don't know what company I want to use because there's a handful of companies that offer the same thing. Some companies have better quality overall service, though. Are you open to recommending a company for somebody who says, okay?
I don't recommend companies because I'm a broker, so I work for you. So let's say I'm going to listen as a broker. Let me tell you the difference between a broker and an agent. An agent works for the insurance company. So, for example, If I am Allstate, I am an Allstate agent. That's the only insurance I can sell is Allstate. I'm a broker. So you tell me this is what my situation is. I got these health issues going on. Then I haven't had any issues in a while, but this is going to be on my chart. My job as a broker is to find that carrier that will take you on. Because every one of them won't. So it's not about the best. It's the best for you. So
okay. Well, let me give you a scenario.
Omaha might work for your personal situation, but your neighbor down the street that you recommend me to, they might have to go with a whole nother company like AIG or I'm thinking of some other ones, John Hancock or some of these other companies. So for me as a broker, that's why I like being a broker because I work for the client. If it's a no from this company, I can get a yes from another company.
Okay, well, let me give you a scenario then. I'm 50.
Okay.
I'm 50, real life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from a family of long livers on both sides, so I might make 100. But if I make 100 or if I drop tomorrow, I want folks to make a large chunk of money off of me.
Okay.
So, I don't have any health issues, and I may not have any more health issues than a 100-year-old man would have at 100 years old.
So
But
at
I
that
want
point,
to, try to
if you
get it done.
Yeah, so at that point, you're just looking for the best rate. If you don't have health insurance, you're the kind of person that a life insurance company wants because they ain't got to pay out no time soon.
But I want them to pay out, and I'm seeing situations.
Every company that I deal with is going to pay out, but where it becomes okay, who's better for you? It comes down to your health. If you are healthy, you pretty much can get a yes from everybody. You're just looking for the best rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm in search of right now, and I have people blowing up my phone, especially AIG is like blowing up my phone right now.
AIG. Well, okay.
I got it. And Keisha, I'm gonna reach out to you later because I want to get some quotes on some things. But
one quick exit question:
Mm-hmm.
Is it better to get a policy if you have the money to do so, that you just pay off in one chunk, as opposed to a policy where you're paying month to month for the rest of your life?
I wouldn't say pay it off in one chunk because, I'm all about if you got the money, why not invest it? Because at the end of the day, if you take that money that you got on hand and you put it in some type of index fund and you grow your money, you still got the money to leave to the people regardless. And you probably could leave more in addition to that policy. I wouldn't do that.
Nah, yeah, I wouldn't.
All right. I just wanted to hear your answer. Okay.
All right. Well, see the cashier on your way out. I don't want to hear that. See the cashier on your way out. Keisha. Last question. You're a teacher.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
No problem.
2 weeks ago, the Classic City lost Dr. T.
Yes.
Did you get to teach with Dr. T?
I did not, and guess what? I didn't go to Dr. T's ISS or Saturday school.
I stayed in ISS. If it wasn't for Dr. T, brother, I wouldn't have graduated high school. I had to have Dr. T. Yes.
Yes, I did not. I was not one of those kids that got in trouble. So I used to walk by there and peek my head in the ISS room, but I was never. I never partook of the trouble zone.
Man, yeah, Dr. T, man. He was.
Yeah, but I knew Dr. Townsend for a long time, and yes, he was definitely a staple.
Yes. How long have you been at Cedar Shows?
I've been at Cedar Shows like 10 years.
Okay. Are you still teaching dance?
No, I do not. I am retired from I'm 20 years in the game now, so I'm looking towards retirement and what I'm going to do on the second half of my life because I'm lighting that load. I have my boys about to be out the house, and I'm going to get my life back. So, no, I don't do none of that. No extracurriculars. My extracurriculars now is going to educate these people on insurance and making sure I help these families get the coverage that they need that's affordable and that, everybody can do something.
Yeah. We appreciate you for that because, like we're saying, our people really need to understand that it's more than just it's more than just that, like you say, those penny policies. People that's all we've been taught. That's all we've been sold as a community. Is hey, all you need is here's enough money for you to bury. What do you think it's going to cost to bury someone? Not
and let me
what
say
it's going to cost to take care of.
Not to cut you off.
You good?
The other thing that I want to get across with our people is insurable insurance.
Say that one more time.
If you got a baby mama, baby daddy, if you got a uncle that's always throwing you a little change to help you out every now and then, get you out of bind, ask them, can you take out a policy on them and pay it? Because you have an insurable interest in that person because they are some kind of way it would hit you financially if they die.
Now that's a good question because I have an ex, and so
several.
So hey, I was gonna say that too. Shout out to all my exes. National Women's Month. Y'all some great women. Y'all really are. All of them tell me all the time, I left you. Yes, you did.
You leaving the door?
I don't know how to take that after Derrick Jackson, but
they all tell me
you leaving the door open?
They all tell me. No, I ain't leaving the door open. But they all tell me I left you. Yes, you did. Question. So, how difficult is that to get that insurance on that person who you have that vested interest in.
It's as difficult as your relationship with them in life, to be honest. If you got a good relationship with that person and they understand you're not trying to kill them off tomorrow, then it's just as simple as calling in and got two people on the phone together, or two people sitting down with the agent. Now, if you got a baby daddy that hates your guts or a baby mama that hates your guts, you're not going to be able to have that conversation with them. You can try. It's in the best interest. Okay. And I will tell people, if it makes them feel uneasy, make sure that, because I do have one carrier that allows you to do irrevocable beneficiaries, which means that person can't go in there and change that beneficiary once you decide that this is who the beneficiary is. Get an irrevocable beneficiary and put your kid's name down on there. So you don't, if you feel like the mama ain't going to do right, put the kids down there, and then and it's your policy. Yeah. Tell them, I'm paying it, but it's your policy. You can hold on to it. I don't want it until something happens, and these kids will be covered. That's it. It's all about talking, having uncomfortable conversations, and that's the stuff we don't like to do. I told you, death is an appointment we all must keep.
Gosh, no, I won't skip that one, though.
I mean, you ain't got to say it so harshly. I mean,
well, we all gonna skip it.
Pastor?
You know somebody cheated, Dad, let me know.
I mean, you're right. Keisha, how can they find you? How can they get in touch with you? How can you help us?
Okay, so I am not on all social platforms, but I'm on a lot of them. So you can find me on Facebook. I don't use my government name on Facebook because I do so much with folks church, so I don't be giving that out. But it's LB, it's ELLEBEE on Facebook. But my Instagram is That Insurance Lady on Instagram. And, of course, my number, if you wanted to call me and reach me, is 706-247-5936. Or you can email me at Delta, DELTA, KISH 14 @gmail.com. But, socials, I'm on all those social platforms. I do have a Twitter, but I'm not on there like that, so I'm not even gonna get that out.
Say all that stuff. Say all that stuff one more time, so that they can. I want people to get in touch with you because.
Okay, the best way probably to get in contact with me is my Instagram. So it's at That Insurance Lady on Instagram, and my email is also a good way, but I mean, usually we write policies when we get to the email, but my email is DELTAKISH14 @gmail.com. Or you can also reach me on my business webpage, but you just have to scroll down and find me because I'm in a group. It's a insurance group of brokers. It's FEAUnited.com. And just look for Lakeisha.
All righty, man. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
This was fun.
We appreciate you. And I mean, next time we got to get you in the barbershop.
Come on down.
Yeah, I know. I got to listen, today was busy and it's the end of the month. So I'm rolling a lot at the end of the month with both businesses. So I've been doing long times. I got one in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. But this was fun. But if y'all talking about anything with social activism or just pop culture, I like to get into it.
Let's do it.
Hey,
make sure you tell Mama and Papa I say hello.
Out here, they downstairs actually because I'm at their house.
Okay, and aunties and all them, your whole family. I just thought about it. Yeah, the whole family.
Exactly. I told you I call your daddy name.
Yeah. And I called your mama name.
Okay, but then I called Grandpa name.
And Tony and all them.
But this was fun. This was fun.
Yes, indeed. We must do it again. And like I say, I am going to reach out to you sometime because I want to talk some policy myself.
Okay.
Man.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, you take care.
Bye, y'all.
All right. It's about that time.
Hey, once again, shout out to all, and I mean all my exes, all the women who've dealt with me from over the years.
Oh my God!
I gotta say because they are some phenomenal women. They are cool.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Because I mean we can all still. I have to say this about them. There's not one that I say that I can't call and laugh with about something, joke with something about the relationship that probably was messed up in the relationship, or if I need something from them that they've actually help me with.
I mean, if I needed blood, I believe I can get some blood. But I'm like, I got
my
a few.
God.
I got a few. I got a few of them wouldn't spit on me,
If
bro.
I need anything except for sex, they would help me out. I'll tell you.
I got some that would rather give me sex than to spit on me if I was on fire.
Oh,
So,
my
I mean,
God.
it's just what it is. Hey, y'all, it's about that time to sweep the floors, clean the clippers. Since Greg ain't got much to say, he got the bathroom. The shop is closed.
Get out.
Same. Oh, Miss Starlight. We're talking randomly.